What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here with another update video for you guys today. It's match day. First of all, the Premier League is back. Tottenham play their first game against Everton today. But before we bring you our live watch along and post-match fan show, we've got a bit of transfer news to talk about, don't we, Sim?
Yeah, there's been quite a few links and a few, quite interesting news over the past 48 hours. So we thought we'd bring you all the news on our latest striker search.
Yeah,
it looks like we're going for everyone and everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
With Spurs.
Even though, like 4 or 5 days ago, we don't have any transfer targets.
Well, that wasn't right, was it?
So let's start off with the news from Alistair Gold from Football London, and let's start off with the first one. He's saying that Tottenham hold big interest in Danny Ings.
Yeah, he said Tottenham hold a big and long-held interest in Danny Ings, which is good news. But he said it's very unlikely to be for us to pull this off this window because of the expenses in the deal and the financials. He scored 22 goals last season, 28 years old, but the thing is, he's Southampton's main striker. He's going to command a big fee, and Premier League clubs these days, even in the bottom half of the table, can kind of demand a big fee because all the money in the game.
And obviously Danny's been burnt by that big move before as well. What was it? He left Southampton the first time round and went to Liverpool.
Well, he wasn't burnt. He just had a big injury.
Yeah,
and then it kind of didn't go right for him. So, look, I think it'd be a great signing if we got him in. I think he would fit right into our team. But I think he can't see Southampton demanding any less than 35 million for him.
And probably even more.
So I can't see.
For a guy that's getting 18 goals or whatever it is,
22 goals
in the Premier League, it's going to be more than 30
Well, it's not 22 goals a season, not 20 goals last season.
Yeah.
So it's not.
How many did he get the year before?
Not as many. I don't know. I'm not sure.
About 15 or so?
I don't think so. Less? I think less because I don't think he played as much.
Okay.
But yeah, it'll be a great deal if we get it over the line. But yeah, I can't see this one. I think we'll probably go for someone younger.
And the next bit of news from Alistair Gold is apparently we're holding interest in Carlos Vinicius of Benfica. I can't say I've ever heard of him or ever seen him play, but apparently he got quite a few goals in Portugal last year.
Yeah, I know I haven't seen him much. I've looked him up. He's a very tall striker, 6'3". He scored 22 goals last season for Benfica. He's 25 years old, so he fits the profile of the club, exactly what we want. Whether, I think, with the work permit situation, I'm not sure how I don't know if he plays for Brazil, so it might be difficult for him to obtain a work permit. But I think, he's 25. So I think it would be a deal where this one's come from left field. We haven't really seen much of him, but clearly he's definitely a striker who fits the profile of the club and getting a lot of goals in the Portuguese league last season. I know Portuguese league's not the best, but I think, again, it's a deal where I would probably be happy if we would get over the line. I just want someone, to be honest. And if someone who's got a lot of goals last season...
Someone and anyone.
Exactly. So Carlos Vinicius, why not? Why not? He's a tall striker, 6'3", and he scored a lot of goals.
All right. Let me know in the comment section below about Carlos Vinicius. Is he someone that you hold big interest for? Is it someone that you would like to get us a deal over the line for? But let's move on. These are reports from Di Marzio out in Italy, and he states that Tottenham had a bid rejected for Andrea Belotti of Torino, which was a loan bid with a future fee of 50 million. I mean, out of all the names that we've been thrown into the hat, this one is probably one of the top ones.
Yeah, it's good to see us. If it's true what DiMarzio is saying, we actually had a bid rejected. I mean, it was a bit of a derisory bid, I would say, because I can't see Torino accepting an initial loan offer with only an option to buy, not an obligation. So I can see them being a bit pissed off with that offer because he's a class.
It's a Daniel Levy offer, isn't it?
It really is. He's an Italian international. He's been pretty consistent over the past 4 or 5 years, getting at least like 15 goals a season. He had one season, I think, 4 years ago where he burst into life, got like 26 goals. Hasn't really matched that ever since then, but he's still been pretty consistent.
Yeah, I think he's been very consistent in getting around the 15 goal mark a season. Apart from that 1 year, he got but 26.
Yeah, so if we can get him to that level, that'd be unbelievable. He's
captain of Torino as well, I believe.
Yeah, and he can play. I think he can play wide forward as well as up front his own. He's a big, strong lad. He's tall.
He's a very good striker and be a very, very good option to have.
Yeah, if we got him over the line, that would be very exciting. I think the fact that we bid, the bid I think we made says to me that we're not gonna spend the money this summer on him. and only if we get him on loan would we be willing to push the boat out. So I can't see Torino accepting any of our offers. Maybe it's one near the window if they lower their price and it's available, it might happen. But I think he's too good of a player for them to let go easily.
And their whole team is pretty much based around him as well. So I think it would take something pretty substantial for them to let him go.
I mean, he would be near the top of my list for sure.
Yeah.
If we were to, I mean, his one as well. Sorry, this one as well. There's been no links. Kind of come out of the blue that we've made a bid for him, and it would be a fantastic deal, absolutely fantastic deal. And it's good that we're showing a bit of ambition in terms of our targets, but not an ambition in terms of the offer. In all honesty, that's classic Levy.
Yeah, classic. Let's move on to reports from Sky Sports. They reported on Friday that Tottenham are monitoring the Troy Deeney situation very closely. But what else has been said about Troy Deeney is that he's had a bid from West Brom, or West Brom are very close to signing him. Have you ever?
I don't know they're close, but they're apparently also interested.
Apparently they're the favourites to sign him anyway.
Yeah, look, I don't want Troy Deeney. I just don't want. Look, when you're talking about the other people that were in for in this, what we've talked about in this video, Danny Ings and Belotti. Deeney is just nowhere near that kind of level, and I know Deeney is a half decent Premier League striker, I would call him, but we have to be aiming higher than that. It's one of those deals, Deeney, where it's like a Ryan Nelson kind of deal. You know what I mean? It's like when there's absolutely nothing's coming off and you need someone to get in. Probably. I really hope Deeney doesn't come off. I would be a bit annoyed if he was a striker. I mean, look, I don't think he's a bad player, Deeney. I think we need to be aiming high, and I don't think if we're to achieve our ambitions this season, Deeney's the striker we need. And if he was like coming as third choice striker, I wouldn't really care that much. But if he's coming in as second choice, no, not for me.
All right. Reports in Italy are still linking us with Milik. We brought you a few reports on Friday saying that Napoli have lowered their fee, but still these reports are not going away for Milik, are
Apparently they've lowered it even more now.
Yeah.
So they've lowered it from 50 to 35. Now apparently they've lowered it from 35 to 25. So apparently the deal's keeps going down. Apparently Roma made an offer of 15 million plus 2 youth players, but that was rejected. I think, as I said,
they're going to be forced to sell at some point.
Yeah, apparently Levy's trying to negotiate a pre-contract with Milik for January, so that maybe it could force Napoli's hand now to kind of lower their price even more if they know he's going to leave in January for free. So I think this one, as I said in previous videos, the longer it goes on, the lower, and the longer this goes on without a deal being made for him, the lower his price is going to get. So I can see Levy really going to the wire with this one.
You know what I feel like is going to happen? I feel like we're going to get Troy Deeney for 1 year and then Milik for free at the end of the season.
I really hope that doesn't happen.
I really can see that happening. Can't you?
No. I really hope our ambitions are higher than that.
Yeah, but can't you see it happening, though?
No.
You can't see it happening.
Can't see it.
What do you think the most likely scenario is?
I can't see us signing Deeney.
What do you think the most likely scenario is?
I think the most likely scenario is us going down to the wire with Milik and getting him over the line for a cheaper offer.
For like 10, 15 mil or something.
I feel like 15, 20 mil,
Yeah.
I'd say. Yeah.
And then there were some further reports about Willy and Jose. Those reports back from... we were linked with him quite heavily in January. He was taken out of the squad because he was unsettled, and now these reports are kind of showing their face again.
Yeah, reports in Spain from, I can't remember who it was, but there was a report in Spain saying Tottenham still hold a strong interest in Willy and Jose after their reported moves in January didn't come off. He said, look, in January I said I think he's a pretty good striker. I think he's consistently got 15 goals in Spain. Obviously we've seen that before. He's big, but with, a certain Soldado. But we've seen he's a big lad, big strong striker. Maybe he'd be more fitted to the Premier League than someone like Soldado would be. I don't think he's the worst option, to be honest. I really don't. I think he's a decent player. So I wouldn't be that disappointed if we got him in. But again, I'd rather someone like Belotti or Danny Ings. Or would I rather Milik? I think just about. I'd rather Milik as well.
I think I'll take Milik over Willy and Jose.
But I think Willy and Jose is not a bad player. I really don't.
All right, well, those are the transfer options, the strikers that have been talked about in the press, linking them to Tottenham Hotspur. Now let's talk about 2 done deals for Tottenham Hotspur. And
signings!
First of all, let's talk about Kane Ferguson, 20-year-old right back and can also play centre back, has signed on the dotted line for Tottenham Hotspur. He made his debut in the under-23s against Brighton yesterday in a 1-1 draw. He made his name, or he was on trial at Tottenham Hotspur and made his trialist debut against Leyton Orient in a friendly in that Justin Edinburgh trial match. So look, he's one that's very highly rated. Do you know anything about him?
Nothing.
He's 20 years old, so he's not even that young.
Yeah, he's not that young, but I know he's had a few trials at Spurs. They didn't really announce it. He just turned up on a friendly and he's playing, and that's it. So look, clearly he must have impressed because they've signed him up, but they clearly don't, they didn't even announce the deal or anything, so we'll have to wait and see. Maybe he's on for the future. Yeah. But he's 20, so I don't know how much more future you can have.
We'll see about that. And then finally, the coup of the transfer window, Tottenham
biggest
Hotspur.
signing of the window.
Tottenham Hotspur has signed Alex Morgan to the Tottenham women's team, and it's absolutely mad when you think about it. This woman is a two-time world champion for the USA, one of the most highly sought after women's footballers in the game today, and signing for a club like Tottenham Hotspur, who only were the first year professional last year. So it's actually a mad thing.
This is a Klinsmann-esque deal.
It is.
This is one of the best forwards in the world football, coming to a Tottenham Hotspur team who are not very, at the moment anyway, they're not the best team, they're not the biggest team, they haven't been going for long, as you say. Only last year they became professional. So this is a massive coup for the Tottenham women's team, and not just the Tottenham women's team, the whole league, the WSL.
Yeah.
Her coming over and bringing, she scored in World Cup finals, she scored that famous tea celebration against England in the World Cup. So yeah, really good for the women's team, really good for the women's game, and hopefully can raise the profile of the Spurs women's team, and maybe they can be a force to be reckoned with over the next years to come, because she's now Tottenham have the two best strikers in the men's and the women's game.
You got to remember that this deal is actually only a short-term deal, and her contract runs out in around January, I think.
Is it? Oh, it's only a short-term deal?
Yeah, it's only a short-term deal. So okay. The contract runs out in January.
Is she only on loan?
I'm not sure how it works. I think it works a bit differently in the women's with transfers and stuff like that. But her contract runs out until around January. It must be when something happens in the women's league in America. Something coincides. So.
It's a bit like when they're in the men's game, when there's a break in January, when you get all these American players signing for the Premier League.
I believe so.
Right, similar to that. Okay. Well, still a massive move for Spurs to get her on board for even if it is only a short period of time. So Tottenham have the two best strikers in football.
And it shows how big it is, because her picture up in a Tottenham shirt was around all Leicester Square on the weekend, announcing the signing in America. It must be a massive deal.
Must raise our profile in America,
because she is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, sport or women's footballer in America at the moment.
Yeah, she's up there with, what's her name, Megan Rapinoe.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think it's a massive coup.
All right, so there you have it. That is the Tottenham news today. We spoke about a lot of targets that we're linked within the press, all strikers. We talked about the signing of Kane Ferguson from Sheffield United and the signing of Alex Morgan to the women's team, which will absolutely raise the profile of the club here and in America, and the profile of the WSL, like my brother rightly pointed out. So there you are. Join us for the watch along very shortly. We'll be going live from 4:20 for the 4:30 kickoff. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always,
come on you Spurs.